Superman, the first big screen presentation from James Gunn's DCU. It had already started with Creature Commandos, an animated series on HBO Max. Well, now it's HBO Max because they keep changing their damn name. But we do get to see Frank Grillo reprise his role as Rick Flag Sr., except this time in live action, so that's cool. But this is the first time on the big screen we are seeing the new DCU, and it's a triumph. I went into this with an overall open mind because they were going about this very differently compared to Zack Snyder's DCEU, the Snyderverse. And a part of me was a little worried that we are just being dropped into a world where metahumans and Superman already exist. And it's explained very quickly. 3 centuries ago, metahumans first started showing up on Earth. Then 30 years ago, Superman crash landed on Earth. 3 years ago, he made his presence known. And then 3 minutes ago, he lost his first battle. He got his ass kicked. And that's where the movie kicks off. Kicks off with Superman getting his ass kicked. And a lot of people bitching and moaning about that, but it's not completely out of the question. Superman is mostly known as one of the, if not the, strongest characters in DC. But it is not unlikely that he loses. It's not out of the question. He loses more often than people realize. Especially when it's the character that he's facing off against. When it's revealed who it is, it's like, okay, this makes sense. At least to me it does. So I'm okay with Superman getting his ass kicked. And Superman himself, David Corenswet, played him perfectly. He was fantastic. He took this role and he not only made it his own, but at the same time, he represented the character almost to a T. Something the Snyder Cult doesn't really like to admit. It's that Henry Cavill, while he was an overall good Superman, at the same time, he was also just kind of meh. Because when he put the glasses on, he was just Superman with glasses. There was no voice change when he was Clark Kent or Superman. His mannerisms didn't change. Nothing. David Corenswet, Clark Kent, Superman, 2 different people. 2 different pitches of voice, different mannerisms, different ways of acting, different look. You put the glasses on him, he doesn't immediately look like Superman with glasses. James Gunn and Corenswet understood the assignment, and they nailed it. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. She too plays her character very, very well as the hardened reporter, badass reporter that she is. She does not pull her punches even when she's interviewing Superman. And that is Lois Lane. And their chemistry, Corenswet and Brosnahan's chemistry, off the charts. They are amazing together. That's another issue that Cavill had with Amy Adams, that they didn't really have that good a chemistry. They stood next to each other, and it was like, oh, okay. You see Corenswet and Brosnahan stand next to each other, and the chemistry just radiates off them. Nicholas Hoult, I think, is our best Lex Luthor on the big screen we've ever gotten. He is just so evil and maniacal, and I don't care about anything other than destroying Superman. And that is Lex Luthor. He wants to destroy Superman, and he wants to be in charge. He wants his own land. He wants to be a king. That's Lex Luthor. And Nicholas Hoult just absolutely kills it. I cannot wait to see more of him. One of the highlights of the movie, though, is Edie Gathegi. I'm probably butchering his name. Maybe I'm saying it right. I don't know. He is Mr. Terrific, and he plays that character to a perfection, to a perfect T, much like his T-spheres. The way he maneuvers his hands while he's controlling the T-spheres, the language that comes out of his mouth when he's talking like super smart, because Mr. Terrific is super smart. He's one of the smartest people on the planet. That was Mr. Terrific. And nothing against Echo Cullum, I think it's Cullum, who played Mr. Terrific in the Arrowverse. He did well. I thought he played the character quite well, but Gathegi just surpasses him tenfold. Anthony Carrigan is our first big screen Rex Mason, aka Metamorpho, and much like originally in the comics, he's used as a tool, but instead of by Stag Industries, it's by Lex Luthor. And, obviously he sees the light and becomes a hero because that's what Metamorpho is. And Anthony Carrigan, I thought, played it very, very well. I feel like there also wasn't enough of him to really pass that much judgment. So I would love to see more of Carrigan's Metamorpho. What they did portray, I thought was very awesome, but I do need to see more. Nathan Fillion. Mwah. He was Guy Gardner. He was 100% Guy Gardner. Just from the look to the ego to the way he just flicks his wrist to knock somebody out with the power ring. That's Guy Gardner. Isabella Merced, who is our Hawk Girl, she portrays it pretty well, but also I don't think we see enough of her to really pass that much judgment. The little bit we do see, I think, is good. It's what I would expect from the Hawk Girl character on the big screen, but again, I need more of her. The special effects are fantastic overall. There are a few moments where it's like, but in general, they are fantastic, especially when you see Metamorpho. At one point, because Metamorpho, he can change into anything. That's his thing. At one point, he changes into a giant hammer and he hits something. And it just looked so good. And then there's Crypto, who primarily done with CGI. He looked so good. He looked like a real dog. And he acted like a real dog. You know how a dog is just excited to see his daddy or to see his mama? That's how they portrayed Crypto. He has superpowers, but he's also a dog. There's also a lot of other characters too, like Sarah Sampaio as Eve Tessmacher. She plays it so over the top, but it works. It fits. The story in general is a fun one, and it really, 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 really makes me want to see more from this universe that James Gunn is building. It gets me super excited for the second season of Peacemaker, because that is the next chapter in the DCU, and I need more, because everything just fit. Everything was fantastic. I went into this excited, but also a little weary, and I came out just pumped. So pumped. Smile on my face the entire movie. Oh, and I forgot to mention, which I never get back in front of the camera once I finish, but I feel like this is important. So something this film does that we have not really seen since Christopher Reeve's Superman is hope. And that is the importance of hope with Superman. Even when the odds are against him, even when everybody hates him, there's a big reason why, which is why the part of the trailer where someone throws a can at the back of his head. It don't matter. There's always hope. Superman equals hope. It's not all doom and gloom. That's Batman's job. Superman has always been about hope and acceptance, and James Gunn, he understood the assignment, and they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. I give Superman an A+.